Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. We are out at Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. I'm here with Professor Dave. He's the doctor of Newmar.
Live from Dave's RV Center.
Well, you can see the smoke coming out of our mouth. We're dropping this off at the body shop. We have to winterize. First time doing it. I think I know what I'm doing, but I have the professor here. He's gonna be over my shoulder critiquing.
I'm just watching, guiding his hands.
Because what do you say? Mistakes in the winter are profitable fixes in the spring, right? That's where you make your bread and butter.
It unfortunately, that is true.
So I don't want to make any mistakes for the spring, but I think I have a good idea. Let's take you along on this. If you watched our previous videos, you know we like to use air. We do that for several reasons, to try to get as much fluid out. Also, it's not going to dilute that mixture when you run the pink through. So we have an adapter very similar to this. At home, we're going to connect into the sewer rinse because there is a line that goes from the back of here into the black tank, and you want to get the water out of there.
So that sewer rinse line is not a straight shot to the black tank.
Okay.
Underneath the midship bathroom, in that cabinet, there is an anti-siphon valve.
Right, you told me that.
Yeah, so the water comes up, and it needs to be up high, so when you turn your water off, there's a vacuum breaker that breaks so you don't contaminate with any sewer water contamination. We always blow these out with air. You don't have to run antifreeze through it, but you should, as a good habit, just move some air through it just in case.
Also, preface this by saying I already dumped both my gray and black. I will dump the fresh also. PSI on this, 40 to 45 pounds, just enough to get the water through. When we start opening up, valves will show you want to get it till there's a mist, so there's really nothing coming out, just mist and air.
Right.
So we're gonna let this run for 30 seconds, a minute, just make sure everything's out of there. We'll disconnect, and that part is done. This is a little bit different, again, than the base jar. This has the integrated hose. This is gonna serve as your city water inlet, essentially. So we're gonna blow air through here also. We're gonna open up the hot-low. And we got water coming out, as you can see, hot water coming out. We're gonna then open the low point for the cold. And to get the same effect, you're waiting for just mist to come out. Next, you're gonna do the outside shower. There's the hot. Open up the cold. We're also going to make sure the water pump is off throughout this whole process. Now, if you want to come a little bit closer, we're going to switch from the off to the fill. That's going to get any air through and push everything into that tank, into the freshwater tank. So any air in that line going to the freshwater tank is going to be cleaned out right now. Next step, we're going to go to our freshwater tank. For us, you can see a low point drain. We're going to pull this, open it up. It's going to drain the freshwater tank. I know somebody's going to ask, going to put in the comments, what about the whole house filter? Number one, once that filter is taken out, it's done for the season. But why didn't we pull that filter first?
It's just a time-saving step. We pushed the majority of the water out of that filter now, so we're done in the outside compartment for now. Because our next phase is to go inside and start pushing all of the water out of each fixture.
Now inside, we're going to start working our way back. Anywhere where there's water, we're going to start running air. So we'll turn it all the way to the cold. Remember, we still have that air running through the hose, because our hose is our freshwater inlet. Then we'll move to hot, cold, cold, hot. Just go back and forth with all air. I think we're good. What do you think, Dave?
So you got the majority of the water out, and that's what you're really trying to do, is get that majority out. You're not trying to, some people call it the blow dry method.
Right.
You're not going to dry the system out. You just want to get the majority of that water out, because you can't cut this antifreeze with water, otherwise you ruin its anti-freezing capability.
Now the dishwasher thing is a whole new one. So I have my idea, but what do you do?
So I power the unit on and I go into the rinse cycle. There's only one line that feeds this unit.
Okay.
It is strictly a hot water line. Go to rinse. I think you just shut the door on this one and it automatically starts.
We figured that out.
On rinse, that's the shortest cycle. You don't need to run it through a full. It'll rinse and it'll drain.
So just let it run through that rinse cycle.
Yeah, so that one's going to run for like 15 minutes.
Okay.
I believe that's the shortest one. I haven't seen that brand yet, but
that's it.
That's
run the rinse. Bath, same thing with the sink. Less and less water in the system now.
Yeah.
So turn it.
On some of those sinks, I kind of like to put my hand in front of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you may get a face full of water / air.
I'm so used to hitting the pump when I flush this. You don't want to hit the pump because you're going to put, unless you drain the freshwater tank.
Well, I should have had you turn the valves on the winterized pickup.
It's all good.
Even if you turn the pump on.
But we're still, we'll run through everything again, but now we're going to flush the toilet. And this is a little bit different again than the Bay Star because we had a pedal flush, much easier. This is more of your classic macerator. Next, we're going to go to the refrigerator, get any air or any water out of that line, try to fill it with air. You see there's a good amount of water in there still.
Oh yeah, so there's a coil in there, a big coil. So it's kind of like a reservoir, and the refrigerator is cooling that water, so when it comes out, it's nice and cold. So you may have to do that several times.
Well, here's the thing. Once it's running pink through everything, this is going to be, you know, it's antifreeze.
Yeah.
So for the ice maker, we're going to have to run it on because there's no way to run air through here. We're just going to, when we put the antifreeze, we're going to wait for pink cubes, essentially, pink water to come out.
The good news is the supply for the ice maker is the same as the water dispenser. Okay. So you did get the majority of the water out.
In the rear bath, we're going to turn on the sink, same as the front. Wait for air to come out. We're going to finally hit the toilet here. And we'll do the same thing with the shower.
What I'm going to do on the wash machine is I'm going to try to find the shortest cycle possible because I want to cycle between my cold and my hot because there's 2 water valves inside this. You're gonna listen for the cues on this one.
Will it shut down if there's no water?
It will not, because there are no water level sensors in these. So you're physically listening for that air.
And it's on cold now.
It's on cold, yeah.
It's on cold now. Yeah.
So you're going to do this for cold, and then you're going to put it to hot. That way you get both lines, both cold and hot.
Once that's all set, and I know your concern is you thought we had to pull that bottom plug out.
Yeah.
We don't.
Okay.
We're going to fill the drum up with antifreeze. See, now we got cold, right? I'm going to pause that, and I'm going to change my temperature to hot. And we want to listen because you're going to hear the change. We heard just air. Now we want to hear water, then just air. But we're going to fill that drum up with antifreeze, and then we're going to go into a drain cycle.
And drain everything out.
And then once that drain cycle happens, that's what's going to take whatever water was inside this pump, and that's what's going to send it down and also protect your P-trap.
Yep.
So we got air through both hot and cold, and I paused it and I turned it off because we're going to go do a few other things now, and we're going to come back to this last.
Now, what about this up here? Where you put the detergent, there's water in there. That's same concept. It's going to be full of antifreeze.
Antifreeze is going to flow through here too.
Well, we're out here winterizing, and then one of Dave's customers comes out and was like, hey, I watch you guys on YouTube. So we wanted to say hi to you guys and give a little testimonial about how long you've been a customer of Dave's.
I've been a customer with Dave about 2 years now.
And you have a Tiffin?
Yes.
What's your experience been?
My first time RVing, I love it. I wouldn't give it up for the world.
And what's your experience been with Dave's RV Center?
This guy is like big brother to me. You know, you couldn't ask for a better sales rep, you know, or RV dealer. Whenever you need him,
friend. Don't call me a salesman.
No, he's not a friend. He's a buddy.
How many times have you called him when something's broken?
About 5 times.
that's way less than us.
Early in the morning or middle of the night, he'll answer the phone.
Absolutely.
For the simplest things, you know, when you're new to this, you know, it's kind of hard getting adjusted to it. But when you have a guy like Dave, for the simplest thing, even the radio. When I first got it, I didn't even know how to turn the radio on. I called Dave like 10 o'clock at night. Oh, he said, push the radio button. And it came on. But he's a great guy. You know, if you're in the Connecticut area and you're looking for a good RV, Dave RV is the guy that you come to.
This was unscripted.
No, not at all. I come in to get my RV winterized, and I pull in, and there you guys are.
Well, now you can watch the winterizing video that we're doing.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Air's done, we're gonna disconnect, and now we're gonna start blowing or pumping antifreeze through the system. So you can open up one of the low point drains. We already did that, depressurize the system. We'll get this filter off, and hopefully we won't have a load of liquid in here. Interesting to see what the filter looks like. After those campgrounds we visited, it's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's not that great.
Not that great, but you know, we have a 3-stage filter that we put in before this, so it probably took a lot of it.
Let me give you a little tip, right? Because I had this happen to me. When you pull the filter out and you tip it over, put your hand in here and tip it.
You don't want to get the...
No, because I've lost that O-ring before. Stick it back up, and next thing you know, I'm pumping antifreeze everywhere.
All right, so something learned. This filter's gonna go bye-bye. We have some more that we keep on board. We'll seal everything up, and then this is gonna fill up, obviously, with antifreeze. This is filled up with antifreeze. It takes about 5-6 gallons, so it depends.
Because of the second bathroom, because of the washer dryer, the dishwasher, you may use 7 or 8 gallons.
Okay. So how it works on the Newmar may be different on yours. There is a siphoning, winterizing tube here. We're going to put it in. We're going to turn the 2 valves opposite to what they were at. All right, so those will be turned, and then we're going to turn the pump on, and it should start sucking in fluid. As you can see, that pump's going to shut off once the system is pressurized. There we go.
All right, so I'm going to go grab another bucket, and we're going to top that off.
Okay.
And clip that line.
So you're just gonna hit the low point drains on and off real quick. Make sure you see pink coming out. I do want to preface this by saying, if you're new to this, you want to use RV specific antifreeze.
And there's 2 kinds.
Correct. There's the super cheap ones, like $3.
There's a glycol
right.
and alcohol. I do not like using the alcohol because it absorbs moisture out of the air.
Got it.
And that moisture in your system will mold. It won't hurt the system. It won't freeze and expand, but it will mold.
Typically, the one you're talking about using tends to be more expensive.
Yes.
It's usually about $10 a gallon.
Somewhere in there.
Versus the Walmart one, which is like $3 to $4 a gallon. So that's a good way to know. So we're going to start with the shower. We're going to turn the hot water on till we're seeing pink. We're seeing pink. We'll shut that off. We're going to go cold water till we see pink. And it looks like we're seeing pink there. And the shower is done. Do the same cycle for the sink. Pink, we're good. We'll turn it. Oh, get that air out.
Wait till you blow that air out.
Yep.
And move right over to cold. You don't have to go in the middle.
Looks like we're getting some air out. We're good there.
Good.
We're in the bathroom sink. Get that air out. We got pink. Then we'll go over to the cold. We're good. We're gonna hit flush on the toilet. We got a lot of pink. Rear bath. Both sinks. We're good.
You see the color of that pink?
Yeah. You want that dark.
Yep.
Our toilet could look like that all the time.
We can. We could drop stuff in.
I don't think you'd want to shower with that water.
The toilet will do the shower. And like Dave said, you want that deep, dark pink. Make sure the air's out. And it looks like here we're good. We're gonna do the same thing, speed wash, which is the quickest, cold. It's maybe different on your washer dryer if you have one. And then we're gonna listen. We wanna hear fluid coming through.
And you can hear your pump running too now.
Yes. Yeah, you see the pink coming through. So that's your cold water line that's sending pink through.
Right. So now we can pause that.
Go to the hot. And again, you may not be able to hear it on camera, but we can hear the pump going. And you can see the pink coming through.
Now this is the spot where we want to fill that drum up. and it just switched over to hot. Did you hear the difference?
Yep.
And there it goes. So you should be good there. You can pause that. Now let's go to drain and spin. And if you want to look in there,
Pink. So finally, we're going to go over to drain and spin. It's going to take everything out of the system, dump that pink into the P-trap, and we're good here. Just let it shut down.
Do you hear it?
Yep. Hit the fridge. We want pink. We want pink. We just had to refill the antifreeze. You want to keep an eye on that. Now, you said that it could be the filter filtering this stuff out.
Yeah.
Because there's no way there's this much water in the system.
Let's dump it out and try it.
I'm not drinking it.
I mean, come on. What kind of RV tech are you if you don't drink it?
You don't drink antifreeze? No, but it's bubbly. This is definitely, it's just that filter filtering out.
So you don't have to taste it, right? What you can do is touch it.
I smell it.
And feel it. And you'll
I
feel
can smell it.
that it's a little slippery.
Yeah.
Yep.
Smell that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So just keep in mind, you're not going to see pink if you have a filter inside the refrigerator. It's filtering out that color.
Now, some refrigerators, if we pull the filter out right now, it'll automatically bypass. Some refrigerators have a plug that you physically have to put in to bypass.
This one does have a plug. This one has the plug. So we're going to do the dishwasher now. Again, we're going to go on rinse, and we're going to let it go through the whole cycle. Should start up soon. Just kicked on. Let it run through the whole cycle because it's going to dump all that antifreeze into the kitchen P-trap.
So the part before the actual final part, because the final part is going to be going over to the dump station and dumping the tanks, whatever residual went into those tanks. Normally, we would be opening the low point drains right now and then go back inside and open the fixtures to allow the antifreeze to drain back out. If there's no water, there's no reason to have antifreeze staying in there. I've had it where it's difficult to clean out of the lines and you get the taste and the odor.
So you want it all out. Once it passes through, let it out.
Once you're done winterizing, open those low point drains, open your fixtures, let air in there.
Let it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because of the ice maker, we're going to set up a gallon jug. And we're going to leave it set
I can move all that stuff.
right in the compartment. So this way, when that ice maker cycles and it calls for water, we'll fill that.
So how are you going to pull this one off while we're moving?
Because it's tight in the compartment, they usually don't move.
Okay.
Yeah. And then once it's done, if you're never going to use that ice maker again,
we're going to shut off the line on the inside.
Turn that line off.
So you're going to take this out once there's pink coming out of that ice maker.
You're done.
We're done.
After that, you're done, and then you can
shut that valve off.
You can open your low point drains at that point.
Okay, so we're going to head over to the dump station. We're going to dump. Then we have about an hour-and-a-half drive to Country Classic, and hopefully we'll see pink once we get there.
Hopefully,
if not, we'll leave it, let it be.
Hopefully, you'll see pink by the time you get there.
So for this unit, it was probably about 8 to 10 gallons. Don't know exactly. I know for the Bay Stars around 6 we used to use, but I would dump a lot. We did forget one more thing. We're going to go inside all the P-traps. We're going to dump a little bit of antifreeze down those P-traps. It's not going to hurt anything, but we'll do that, and then we'll go dump.
Right.
Comments below, what did we do wrong? 'Cause I know somebody thinks we did something wrong.
No. We're professionals.
Dave's going to want to answer this.
We didn't do anything wrong, and I'll tell you why we didn't. In the springtime, if something's broken, I'm paying to fix it. So I always make sure. And this is why we don't just blow dry. We follow up with antifreeze and we make sure that every component got covered.
Yeah, so it's not a difficult thing to do. Just take your time, do it logically and methodically, and you'll be okay. Comments below, let us know what you think about this. If you like other DIY videos, we're gonna put one right up above. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the road.